So today's Wednesday, and I believe today is also Veterans Day. Which would explain all the many American flags I've been seeing on campus this week. This ice cream sandwich is pretty good. What used to be the limited capacity seating at the dining hall has been converted to an area where volunteers make meals for those currently in quarantine. They have the container of novelty ice creams available every Wednesday and Sunday, because I think that replaces the ice cream sundae bar. In our American political thought class, a significant portion of class time was dedicated to talking about what's been going on campus in regards to plans for the end of the semester. It's currently recommended that I go home and off campus this week because today was the day I had my third COVID pool test. And this is known as the exit test because it's intended to be the last pool test I participate in. Before leaving campus. I went for it at 9:15 a.m. even though I was scheduled for 9:40 a.m. because the instructions always tell you to get there a little early. I think it's to allow time for processing. I lost my plastic spoon somewhere and haven't really been able to find it since. But it turns out this is doing the job pretty good. Got some pasta. And what were called chicken burritos, though I personally think they should be called chicken tacos, the way they're wrapped. Well, the exit pool test only lasted me minutes. Roughly a quarter of an hour. And the president herself was there It's a place just outside of the multi-purpose gym area where the track team would practice. We also got some tofu stir fry. I've been told that they wouldn't have yogurt at dinner time, only at lunchtime, but I can tell from experience they'll have yogurt every dinner. Based on my own personal experience. At the place where the president of Brockport was at, I had to get that app, the website I use to do the pool test up and ready, of which I already had an account from the last two pool tests, technically from the first one, but I wrongly assumed I wouldn't have to have it open at the time. They have different sections that are blocked off using what you would typically see for perhaps maybe a line at Walmart or something. On Black Friday, perhaps. I also got some roasted carrots, though. Here I initially thought they were more onion rings. Also, I accidentally dropped my first pool test kit while opening it onto the ground. And because of that, I had to get a new one, entering a new barcode in the process. And both times I typed them in manually. Meaning when I finished typing it out the first time, I didn't copy and paste it into the second box. It seems through the barcodes, roughly the first half of the digits are fixed, meaning they don't change between test to test. Well, the second half does change. It seems I have 8 hours before I can advance in the tournament. For the second half of my American Political Thought class, we talked about articles relating to the issue of slavery in regard to the Constitution. The 20-year clause, how Jefferson expressed abolitionist sentiments, but never freed his own slaves because he lived above his means. It was during that time I mentioned the 3/5 compromise. I'm doing some more work on a new 99th Dan Hamming. I think I'm on the verge of finishing up the car swerve scene. Of which I've decided basically that the bull's made out of glass based on the props I use for its breakup. And I'm thinking that a sudden car swerve and having a glass bowl hit glass, I'm thinking that would seriously crack the window, but not ultimately break it because those car windows can be tougher than you think. And it's best to use specialized tools against them. It's not like you can just punch out car windows. Especially not the windshield, which I think is designed to be extra tough in an effort to protect you during a car accident or some other safety purpose behind it. I'm currently adding in some sound effects, and I ultimately decided to skip getting lunch at Harrison because I have some considerable snacks here at my dorm room. And I instead decided to just finish up my cheddar and sour cream and onion Lay's chips. Have some of the snacks that I got. I actually got those snacks shortly before leaving for my exit pool test, because I strongly felt there would be leftovers, because I was originally 40 minutes late to the event where those snacks were given away for free. And I actually carried those 2 bags of those goldfish with me into the pool test area. And I had to put them into one of my pants pockets. Specifically this one. And then I put my phone into this pocket. If I recall correctly, I used some snacks to consist throughout the night until about 3 in the morning, when I figured I would get roughly 5.5 hours of sleep in an effort to avoid depriving myself of sleep too much. And I think I ultimately stayed up to watch YouTube videos. I'm also trying to make an effort to work on that third cultural essay from a Spanish class by listening to that documentary that was chosen regarding violence against women in Mexico. And I think it talks about how there's been a long string of murders against young women from Juarez, Mexico, due to a series of agencies, including the U.S. government, being complacent or complicit in the scheme. Basically, it has something to do with corruption, the old saying that the police are the real criminals, those sort of things. I myself am pretty close to getting this Needles of the Tempest Ancient Wonder. So for that, I'm going to need to try and take over some provinces. As soon as I activated this research upgrade, the amount I have to do for this task increased significantly. If that hadn't happened, I definitely would have finished this task by now. These tasks. It's just a matter of luck I ultimately got. Colosseum wedding. Let's see. No. I have very few candles. Very few items I can use to navigate the Misty Forest. I'm gonna try, let's see. I do have this item. It has an 18% chance to give me a building I already have, or a roughly 1 in 3 chance to give me 2 rune shards that aren't broken. It gave me a Tome of Secrets rune shard, which I find pretty bizarre. I already have that Tome of Secrets Ancient Wonder built. In fact, it was the first Ancient Wonder I built, though it took me a pretty long time to do that. I find the tofu in Harrison to be surprisingly salty. Maybe it has to do with some kind of oil or sauce added supposedly to enhance the flavor. I believe I've had plain tofu before and it was pretty good, at least if it's dried via a bit of frying, I guess, or baking. I'm glad I got one of those. It's a bit of a long shot, but it's still doable. This Ancient Wonder will permanently increase the training speed at the barracks, as well as giving a damage boost to my light melee units, which are my sword dancers, and my Cerberuses. There's a third unit of that sort, but as of right now, I don't have that unlocked. Probably won't until I get the mercenary camp. This is the training grounds, and this is the barracks. I'll be lucky if I get to evolve this building one more time. Ultimately, I probably won't get to do that unless they have a deal for it here at the Magic Academy. Two broken shards to help me get to being able to build that Needles of the Tempest Ancient Wonder a little faster. starting at 2:30 in the afternoon. It was supposed to be a virtual office hour for my politics of geography class. I've tried to attend that, but the professor never showed up. And within about 45 minutes, I ended up falling asleep on the spare mattress. If I recall correctly, I woke up roughly half an hour before the usual time I go to dinner. I think I woke up around 5:45 p.m.-ish after falling asleep at roughly 3:15 p.m. I typically go for dinner anywhere between 6 and 6:45-ish p.m.